Hello everybody, it's Giltar here with a review of the high-grade Universal Sentry 1 to 144 scale EMS-10 Zudah. It's actually listed as a Xeon prototype mobile suit. It's a pretty cool design. It's one of those designs that I think is pretty overlooked. I've only seen one video review of the Zudah, the high-grade Universal Sentry kit on YouTube. And I think I saw another one or two on the MSIA action figures of the Zudah. But I wanted to do my own review on it because I'd like to see it get a little more coverage on the YouTube online community. First and foremost, I think this is a very, very good model. The details are very finely done. I think this model came out like in 2007 or 2006, so it's not exactly a new model, but I'm pretty surprised by the detail of sculpting, the quality in this. And one thing I want to mention pretty much right now, right off the bat, is that as you can see, the model has a very sort of extreme pose that it's in right now. It's doing a stretched leg, sort of crouching pose, holding its what's called the 135mm anti-ship rifle. Now, this is only possible because its ankle joints are unique or more rare in the high grade and maybe even in the master grade. Well, no, not the master grade. I've seen some of the ankle joints do this, but at least in the high grade level of design, these ankle joints allow the feet to sort of flip out a little further than normal. It looks unnatural, but it's great for posing. I believe Prime 92 in at least one of her more recent reviews of the Zudah, or rather Zaku 2, showed those models, those designs, showing like a similar sort of dislocation of the ankle joints almost, where it can sort of go out a little further than you would expect. I have a couple of Zaku 2 and Zaku 1 high-grade Universal Sentry kits, so I'd like to see those as well for myself and see if those models can maybe strike similar poses. I haven't assembled them yet. I've got a whole bunch of models just sitting in their boxes waiting to be assembled. So maybe if I do get them assembled anytime soon, I'd like to test that out. But moving on to the review, this is probably going to be a two-part review. I'm a bit long-winded. I'm working on that, but I'm pretty new to this, so I'm going to make it a two-part review where the first part, similar to my first review of the RX-0 Unicorn mode, the first part of the review will cover the accessories, some details of the sculpt, and then the second part of the review will go into articulation and my final thoughts. So right away you can see the most sort of striking accessory is the 135mm cannon, the anti-ship rifle. It's probably, I think, the largest high-grade weapon accessory that I'm aware of, at least in my collection. I have the Rairu high-grade Universal Sentry kit, which has what's called a long blade rifle, which is just a tad shorter than the 135mm rifle that the Zudah has. So unfortunately the Rairu's in storage, but if I do a review of that sometime, I'll have the 135mm rifle on hand to sort of compare the dimensions. You'll see on the Zudah's legs is a sort of a typical Zaku machine gun, pretty standard in that it's got your typical, I guess, design. You have a side grip that can move back and forth, a sight that can move back and forth, a stock. It doesn't have the ammo drum because the ammo drum is right here. This is actually not the ammo drum that goes onto this rifle, this machine gun, because this is specifically to be stored on the hip skirt as a sort of a cosmetic accessory. I have the ammo drum in the box, the model kit box. I don't have it, but you would normally put it on top here on this peg and store it that, or wield it that way. On the other leg is the heat hawk, very typical of heat hawk storage. It comes with a little sort of sheath clip, which you can take the heat hawk out of with some difficulty because I have it backwards, and then you would store it on the calf. So both weapons go on the calf of the Zudah's legs. Normally the Zaku designs usually have you store the heat hawk, for example, on the side skirt, The machine guns can, I think, sometimes go on side skirts and often on the back skirts, where also hyper bazookas usually are stowed. The 135mm cannon is very, very neat. I'm going to actually remove it by just taking the hand off. I'll leave the Zudah like this. Now the rifle is pretty neat. It's kind of like a sniper rifle, I guess, because it comes with components to allow you to stand it if you want to do like a lying down pose with a Zudah and, you know, shoot things or snipe things from afar. It has a side sight, which is immobile. It doesn't move, but the side grip is on sort of a little hinge, so it can swivel. The ammo clips are actually removable. Top ammo clip and side, I guess, spare ammo clip maybe. Oh, there it goes. And there you go. I'm going to leave the hand on it just for the purposes of this review. But it's a very cool weapon accessory, very intimidating, and I think it really stands out amongst the Xeon mobile suit weapons for sure. Now on the arm of the Zudah, we have a fairly typical rectangular Xeon type mobile suit shield. Oh, there goes the arm. I'll just leave that off for now. It's not that important. Oh, that part's gonna fall off too. Okay, so the shield is really interesting because it's very non-standard. It comes with shield spikes that you can use to make the shield into more of a melee weapon. It stores actually the Sturmfaust, like basically an RPG type weapon. It launches a rocket or a grenade basically at enemies. It can be stowed in the shield via a small gray plastic peg. I don't know if you can make that out. And it actually comes with a handle for the shield, so that if you wanted to, you could have the Zudah grip the shield and pose it as if it's going to strike somebody. So that's pretty neat too. But I think the sort of most interesting part of the design, and something a little more innovative, is that it's actually on an assembly that allows you to swivel the shield to front, side, or back, or any other position in between. It's very, very posable. You can actually rotate the shield and swivel it on its own hinge. So it's a very interesting shield design, high level articulation just for a simple shield, or seemingly simple shield, and a very, very cool touch on this design. It's too bad not more mobile suits have this sort of shield accessory. Now, as far as the Zudah's sculpt details, like I said earlier, it's very highly detailed. It's probably hard to make out on my camera because I'm using a digital camera to take my videos. It's just what I have on hand right now. But you'll see, for example, a lot of panel grooves, lines where you can actually do detailing. And in fact, the chest part here, the black center portion, has a lot of grooving done, and you can actually panel line it according to the art. Put that there. Of the manual. It shows actually the chest has white panel lines, and actually white panel lines for other parts of the suit, like here on the lower sort of abdomen piece, the blue piece. There's, I think, white on the arms as well and on the legs. It's gonna be kind of difficult because I'm used to using Gundam markers and just sort of paint washes. With this, I'm gonna be using like a white paint for that to keep it a little more accurate. So I don't know how easy that'll be because I've never done it on something so small before. And actually, I'll point out something else here. On the back, there's an extensive marking seal placement diagram. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what a marking seal is, it's just basically this: clear back stickers. They are not like dry transfer decals or water transfer or water slide decals. These are essentially stickers, but they have clear backing, and they kind of simulate what decals would do on a higher grade model. And it's got a lot. I haven't applied them yet because I want to do some painting and some top coating first before I put any seals on it. So that's part one of the review. In the next part, I'll be going over articulation, some more details of the sculpt, and my final thoughts on this fairly unique model. Thanks for watching.